Everybody loves dads, stories, and the Marine Corps. What could be better than Marine Corps dads who tell stories? Here's another story with veteran storyteller John Sugar Jr., a Marine Corps dad.
Tonight's story is the story of why the Easter Bunny hides eggs. Once upon a time, there was no such thing as the Easter Bunny. It wasn't a real thing. There was no magic rabbit. There were no pink baskets. There were no chocolate bunny unicorns. There was nothing. Until one day, in the forest, there hopped a bunny. And the bunny's name was Pedro. And Pedro the bunny was hop, hop, hop in the forest when he saw a fox. And he hid from the fox behind a tree. And the fox walked along slinking. And the bunny said, I should follow him and find out where he is going. So he followed the fox all the way to a little house that was surrounded by a little fence. And the fox was looking inside, and so the bunny looked inside, and he saw a bunch of chickens. And all the chickens inside were laying their eggs. And the bunny looked at the fox, and the fox was going, he was going to go in. He was going to eat the eggs as soon as all the chickens were sleeping. And so the bunny said, Pedro said, not on my watch. His little bunny heart stiffened. And he said, I'm gonna be brave. And so the fox sneaked into the hen house, but he didn't know that there was a bunny right behind him. And the fox reached out a paw to get the first egg. And Pedro the bunny kicked him. And then the fox went, ah! Hit the side, ah! But he didn't see him. Pedro hid. And the fox is like, and he reached out for the egg. And Pedro went, ah! And the fox started running. He was like, nope. Ghost chickens are hitting me. And he started running off. And all the chickens woke up. And all they saw was this rabbit in their hen house. And they were like, what are you doing here? Come on! And all the chickens ran away. Do you know why? Because they're chicken. Mm-hmm. And the chickens left all of their eggs in the hen house. What did the fox want to eat?
The eggs.
The eggs. And so Pedro was like, oh no. Oh no. I'm in trouble. Now, all the chickens were running towards the farmhouse, but the farmhouse was like a mile away, and everybody was sleeping. It was going to take a while for the chickens to get there. And the fox was coming back. He was going to get the eggs, and he was going to eat them all up. And so, Pedro the bunny had an idea. He grabbed an egg. He dug a little hole and put it in the ground and covered it with the dirt. Put a leaf on it. And he did the same thing with all the eggs. Some of the eggs he buried, and some of the eggs he put in a tree. Another egg he threw up with some squirrels. The squirrels were like, ah. They hit it with all their nuts. And Pedro the bunny started hiding all the eggs. until the fox came back, sniffing. And because he had such a strong sense of smell, he knew that there was a bunny in the hen house. He went, "I know you are here, bunny. I know it. Come out. You will not stop me from eating these eggs." And he grabbed the first nest. And there was nothing in the nest. And the fox grabbed the next nest. Nothing. And the fox went, in all the nests, there weren't any eggs. And he saw Pedro the bunny leaning against the door, all casual like. He's like, "What did you do with the eggs?" And Pedro said, "I do not know. Even I don't know where they all are." And the fox said, "No!" And then they could hear, "Ruff, ruff, 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 ruff." And it was the dogs coming from the farmhouse. And the fox said, "I'll get you!" And he had to run because the dogs are right behind him. You know what dogs do to foxes, right? Yeah. And so the fox ran. And the dogs ran. And so Pedro the rabbit saved all the eggs. Well, to find all the eggs, the children from the house came. And Pedro the rabbit told them, and he dug up a little bit and found one of the eggs for them. And they're like, "Okay." And so they all went around and they started looking for all the eggs. They found them in the holes, and they found them in the tree, and they took the one back from the squirrels with the nuts. But when they got the one back from the squirrels with the nuts, they saw it had been painted. Because Mama Squirrel said, "That's not going in here. It's got to look good." And she painted on the egg. So the kids saw this painted egg, and they're like, "This is awesome." And they painted all the eggs. Pink and blue. And some with stripes. And some with dots. And some just splashed with paint because Dad doesn't care. They took all the eggs and they painted them all and they made them look nice. And so every year we have an Easter egg hunt with painted eggs to celebrate Pedro the rabbit and his courage in defending the chickens against the fox. The end.
That was another story with John Sugar Jr., a Marine Corps dad. Check the show notes for links to his Patreon and website at creativegrumbles.com.